Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back for some more EVE Online. In today's video I am doing some more emerging conduit running, and this for two reasons. Well, the number one reason of course is because CCP nerfed the emerging conduits. Just as I make a rattlesnake that can basically chain them indefinitely on their 1 minute cooldown, CCP changes things up and gives them like a 10-minute cooldown or something like that. So that's something we'll take a look at here. Also, some reports that the loot has been nerfed. I am not sure of that, so we'll consider this a bit of a test of that as well. And the other reason is I actually beefed up the tank on my Rattlesnake, so the fit has changed a little bit. Let's take a quick look at that. So I put an extra shield power relay that actually does quite a lot to your HP a second. And then here we switch to a ballistic control system, one of those faction ones that give a bonus to both. Oh, and there's another Rattlesnake coming in, to both missile rate of fire, missile damage, and 10% bonus damage to my drones as well. So that's of course pretty damn handy. Let's see if Incendium decides to stay in. I mean, for the better part of the reward will do absolutely fine. So we'll see, and then yeah, that should make for an easy set. Oh, he actually decides to go to another system, so that's pretty interesting. And Rasneborg Damavik is now in range for my missiles. We're firing off the missiles. First volley is underway. Second one should be here pretty soon. And I guess we'll try like that then, since you don't want to get in range of my web. We'll web something else to get the E-War going. And then let's try to run this efficiently. So yeah, a little bit more tank on this one. The reason for that is that I actually ran another conduit, or several more I should say. And one of them, I'm guessing it's like the hardest one you can come across. Final wave was the cruiser, and then I think it was 5 destroyers, and that got me below 33% shield capacity, which is the optimal recharge rate, basically the danger zone. So I decided to switch back to a bit more tank, and then to of course combine the damage bonuses for the missiles and the drones in one single module. Not as good in DPS as the previous fit, but it has that much more regen that I think this is worth it. First wave down, 2 destroyers on the next wave, and we can activate a 4 here. Now we get a little bit of loot right there. Good stuff. Who's coming in first? Looks like it's the regular Rasneborg Damavik. Let's start by targeting him. I don't have all the wrecks, and I don't think I can target this one, but alright. Time for some extra missiles. Then let's hope that we do get him into web range soon. Yep, there it goes. I like to wait for that until I drop my drones. Press F, and Rasneborg Damavik should go down pretty quickly. These guys are still hovering around 20 kilometers at this point. They're just that much slower. I guess we'll take the starving. The starving is actually pretty annoying. 1, 2, 3. Start salvaging that wreck, and then we start targeting the rest of them. Nope, that's not a wreck. Okay. And this is also something, a comment that was made and that actually rang very true to me. That is that it's a kind of a mistake to reload when you still have missiles left, because that reload timer is actually what decreases your potential DPS. So using all of the missiles that are in a single load is actually very important to keep going optimally. So what I think is always a good idea then is to try and time your reloads with going after these destroyers, because you can just see here that my my drones handle one of these Kikimoras very easily without having to add missile damage, and it's gonna be different on this renewing Rasneborg. Now I'm gonna just not use the missiles also to show that to you guys here, but you can see we've got really steady 4 to 500 hit damage. That one is destroyed, and then let's go after the renewing here, add the target painter and the web, and then let's see how efficient they are now. You can see right here we've got a miss, we get one hit and a miss. It's a lot less efficient. This is where you would actually want to use your missiles as well. I'm going to take the opportunity here first to go after some more of these wrecks. But here again, like a lot less efficient, despite the fact that this guy is whipped and target painted. So let's use these missiles. Let's speed things up here. Let's go for a 4. And we've got one more wreck here. This one becomes a wreck. We can call these back, and then let's return to drone bay. And here, very easy wave. This is also, I think, something that was reported, namely that the spawns tends to not be that difficult anymore. Basically, what gets spawned in the final wave, it feels to some people like it's been toned down quite a little bit. And so far, since the last couple of days, that does ring true to me. So let's start with that missile fire, full E-war on me. That is, of course, quite a little bit. And we'll go after this starving one next. And then we'll add my faction drones. And let's see if we can take care of Zoria's Vedmak quickly and efficiently like this. We should have plenty of missiles. That should be fine. One destroyer. You can now see the difference, 70% shields. Of course, we are going down. It's quite a bit of damage, and it actually ramps up from the Vedmak. But after that, just one destroyer, then you do get things under control pretty quickly. In fact, I think I'll keep him for the reload again. That's going to be my tactic. So that's the Vedmak gone. Then we're going to go after the starving, because he's eating up my cap. We add the missiles, press a 2, grab that wreck if I can. One eye on the drones, they're still doing fine. That one is getting into range, it's not there yet. Oh, and I should, of course, add my web. Well, alright, like this then. Tangling, 1, 2, 3. Start the salvage process and go after the rats first. Now look at that, add that missile damage, 2 shots, he is gone. That's very nice, of course, but add some misses from your missiles and it's not that easy. So there's the Rasneborg Damavik next. We ran out of missiles, so we're gonna try and get this done, but after that, one more blap. There we go. You go after the destroyer. My tank can pretty easily hold this, right? We're still at 58%, not a single problem. We can target the next wreck as well. Maybe even this one. No, I don't think so. That's going to be too much. But look at how much more effective my drones are just targeting that destroyer. And then the reload is almost ready. 1, 2. We're going on the harrowing. Press 3 for the missiles, and they'll go down quickly as well. Yeah, that's gonna be the tactic, rather than just... Oh, did they just switch? No, that was the remote trap. For a second there, I thought they had switched to my drones. That is not the case at this point. Yeah, instead of doing the reload on the next wave, or like having your drones take care of the final small rat so that you do the reload while the next wave is going to spawn, this feels a lot better. You're not wasting so much time, but just focus on using the missiles on the small drones, the small targets first, especially stuff like the starvings, these ghostings. Actually, I should prioritize that one first, and then when the reload happens, that's when you go after the destroyers. And look at my tank holding 67%. There's no way that they can break that, so this is going really well. Pretty efficient as well on the salvaging. We've got a couple of wrecks left. Now that one, can I click on you? You could add that to the overview. Right now I feel like it's okay to do without. Let's grab these, and that's the first one done. And then of course the big difference is, previously, by the time I had finished my salvaging, the next one would be here, and that will not be the case this time, of course. So 1, 2, 3, go like that. Everything is getting salvaged. That's all there is. So it's still pretty efficient, of course. 2 point, yeah, that feels very bad. I mean, this was 20 million before the nerf, so that does feel pretty bad. That's done. Press that and add the drone on whenever is left. Do reload now, of course. Scoop this puppet to the cargo bay. And if you're not doing anything, you're going back on one of these wrecks. F on the final wreck. And there we go. This guy is being salvaged as well. Around 10 minutes to clean up the site. That's pretty much the same as with the previous fit, with the added advantage that we've got a better tank. Everything is done, and then of course the big difference, the massive nerf. By now there should be a new conduit, or at least in the previous spawn rate there was a new conduit. Now there isn't. That means that I am heading to Tashinas. Let's see if we can basically spot one there. I'll keep an eye on the D-scan here as well to see. We've got a patrol happening here too. So I think if you want to chain going after the Triglavians, then the patrols are still your go-to way. You can also do that in a far less expensive and bulky ship than the Rattlesnake. Something like a battlecruiser Drake Navy issue, in my opinion, is just perfect for hunting these patrols. But of course, you gotta do a lot more scanning with your D-scan in order to find them. It's not as efficient as what the conduits were when you were basically able to chain them indefinitely in a single system. So still not there. I'm not gonna wait for that respawn. This is basically how I would be running the conduits at this point. Because of the chain, I'd go to I'd go to the next system, and here we have an emerging conduit. And then of course you have to hope that the Rattlesnake that visited us previously is not in there. And what do I see here? Another patrol, I think? Or is the conduit in range? Let's keep an eye on that. I think that's a patrol, right? 5. It's like the larger patrols that you encounter. I'm glad to see that those are still around. They did feel like the first step to get towards the conduits. And then eventually, of course, if you want to graduate from this, and I see Rex, I see a Praxis that's running them. Okay, this is getting a bit busier, of course. People are running these conduits, and that means that we've got a double Praxis team that is running these. Now what you can do is you can stick around, of course, help them out, and then that's what I'll do. I'm gonna take those loyalty points and that 4.5 million. We're still with 3, so this should be fine. Oh, maybe unless they nerf that. That's actually a perfect test for that. So let's do this. Go after the first one. I'll use my faction drones. So we're here with Roy Margaret and Bertha Noise or something like that. That's probably a single player that's dual accounting these two Praxi. Must be very effective as well. You'll be able to get everything done, except no salvage drones on the field. Why would you waste that much time and DPS on that when now it doesn't matter, since you've got plenty of time to loot and grab everything at that point. Okay, so that's done. We'll take down Zorius first. Also not going on the spawn point. I'm gonna abandon everything that I can, because it's their loot. I don't want to take that from them. And of course we're gonna go after the Vidmag. Now there's plenty of stuff to target, and they're going after me better than my drones, so I'll take it. Now once we get in range here, what are they using? Navy ogres. Okay, this is this is pretty cool though, and I think that this is exactly that escalation that I was talking about. You start completely solo and actually very accessible. Just to take one battlecruiser will be fine. You hunt these Triglavian patrols. Step number 2, and look at this wave actually. 4, 5. Yeah, this is like one of the hardest waves. I think it's 5. Of these destroyers again with the cruiser. That's a lot of DPS. Important to note, that has not been nerfed into the ground. But what I was saying, you start with those patrols in a very cheap ship, very accessible. After that, you graduate to those conduits. I think everyone will want at some point to have a ship that's capable of soloing those without trouble. But then you start up a small fleet, and then you can eventually go into the invaded systems as well to tackle even harder content there. So this is going pretty fast. Too bad we have a 10-minute respawn timer now. This team would do very well, I think, in the previous system of the conduits. But yeah, we're gonna feel that nerf for sure. All those drones are still out. Mine are fine. My shields, look at that, 60% on this wave because of how strong it is. That is pretty impressive. Let's go after that one next. And I think most of the others will get engaged pretty quickly. So we're gonna abandon this stuff as well. Make sure that they get all their loot. And then we'll take a look at the payout. So there we go, 1, 2. Gonna keep the rest of those missiles down to 1600. And that'll give us like an extra 5 minutes. Let's go back to Chunka after that and see if it's there already. Okay, that one is the final one. Return to drone bay. So the conduit should be gone in a moment. I still get the same payout in ISK at least. And then in LP for DED, can I see the transactions on that? No, not like that. I'm gonna assume that it's still the same payout in that regard. Any white Rex? Not that I see. And here again, that one is gone. So we're gonna hover back. That's fine, that's fine. I don't have my tractor unit out. No, I don't. Yeah, this is gonna be like 2 to 3 million in loot only. That is definitely not a lot. I hope that these guys drop a tractor unit and grab everything. But let's get back to Chunka then and see what we can do there. You could honestly, that double praxis team should have like a couple of salvage drones on the field or something like that, because now I could have gone after all of those wrecks with my Salvager II, and they would not have been happy with that. That's not in my nature, but you can absolutely start your ninja salvaging operations, I think, here as well. And I think that there's a very high chance that we'll have more teamwork because of this too. Keep that in mind. If you have fewer conduits, people still love to run them, and up to 3 people in the site, as you can see here, is still very much rewarding. So why not try to combine things that way? So we're back in Chunka, and there is still no conduit available there. So we'll take a look at Isisama. That one should have one as well, and see if maybe that's where the Rattlesnake is. Although by now he should be finished with his side as well. So let's see about that one. And now it's been 7 minutes. I could try and see if it is indeed like a 10-minute timer, just for the sake of the video. What do you do in the meantime, of course? Yeah, with a ship as efficient as this one, you're running around looking for those extra payouts. I think that's the best thing to do. And don't ninja salvage too much if you wanna, stay on the good side of people. But there's definitely spawns of conduits here in Tashinas, and I'm like 99% sure that in Isisama we normally have conduits as well. So let's take a look at that. Go. It's a bit more busy, but there is a conduit indeed, and then it's gonna be interesting to see. I get that incoming transmission. I don't even remember if I got that one on the previous one as well. But let's see here. What about the D-scan? Does that tell me anything? That's Senti, so that's another patrol. Those guys are available. I should probably test to see if those are like chainable, like they used to be. But my gut tells me that they are. And you could go after those then, if you want to as well. But it, with a slow warping ship like that, it's not going to be very optimal. That's a lot more wrecks on the field all of a sudden. And why am I actually showing them? Must be... Well, it's actually pretty important to know, of course. And this one's actually empty. Alright, so we'll run this one. That's a surprise. Unless... No, I don't think that the other Rattlesnake will have been able to run his conduit here in Isisama that much more efficiently than what I did. So let's drop this. Let's take a look at the state here. Quick total of the loot. It's at 3.4 million. Yeah, that's definitely a lot less. Now this first wave is a lot more promising. So it does show that the ship spawns are not nerfed. You can still get some pretty heavy waves from these. Now let's take a look at the loot results from this one as well. It's gonna be an interesting experiment, I think. Tangling coming in here at pretty high speeds, in range for missiles. Let's get the drones ready as well. First, yep, now he's webbed. That means I use my drones and press F. And so this is a change in tactic. I'm gonna keep these guys if I need a reload on this first wave. So F on the starving one, get all of that E-war away, harrowing, and then the ghosting is next. Because I am at half capacitor already for this start. Ooh, and then of course you do grab in this one, this Rattlesnake, you go straight for those wrecks. Ghosting is next. 1, 2, 3. Press 4. I wonder if I should reload while I'm taking care of these two in this case. Although it's still a DPS loss, of course. Well, oh, they're look at that, going after one of my drones. Oh no, or was that my salvage beam? Nope, they're going after one of my drones. All right, return to drone bay. Sometimes they switch. They are still aggressive from time to time. Very annoying. I get to do this. Then we're definitely gonna use the missiles to take care of these small guys. Next. 1, 2, 3. You're next. Engage. Another wreck to target. There it is. Good salvage. That one should be blappable. There we go. Harrowing is next. And now we just have a 1, 2. Paint and whip. Grab that wreck. And they're going after my drones again. You bastards. Look at that. Now, I think these won't hit them that well. Let's give it a test. Take him out now. Ooh, but he won't be in range like this. Yeah, and look at that, he's actually going through my shields. Okay, very annoying. Very interesting. Much more drone aggressive wave here. He's half down. He's doing damage to its shields. Blop, he's gone. Alright, return to drone bay. Final whip. Final wreck. And then second wave is not that challenging. In the meantime, my reload is back, so we are fine. I think it's been back for a little bit. Zoria's Kikimora is here. Gonna be a bit of a test for our starving and renewing. Just regular Rasneborgs. Okay, 1, 3. Still no E-war on me. Not sure why that is. But alright. So I don't trust this, right? These guys are still waiting for my drones, basically. Now, finally, that E-war has decided to show up. So I'm gonna drop my drones. Press F. And then starving is what I do want to make sure to take care of as quickly as possible. And that wreck is taking a long time to salvage, unfortunately. There he goes. So I can target you as well. That's fine. Starving next. 1, 2, 3. Get that deeps going. Okay. Wreck done. Drones are okay, I think. Targeting Rex. Zoria's Kikimora. Okay, that's fine actually. I think trying to take her out as quickly as possible makes sense. Oh, because she's also going after my drones, so we'll take her out and then call my drones back. You bastards. That one's down. Call these back. 4 missiles on this one. That's fine. She drops loot, so that could be good. That could be the turnaround here. And then they are targeting me again. I'm actually gonna switch to the ogres just to you know, put something else on the field and hope that it lowers their priority a bit. Slow ogres slowly heading. Alright, that one's down here. And again, we are after a destroyer. And we're doing our reload. I am really fine with that. Grab this wreck. Grab that wreck. He's down. Return to drone bay. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 destroyers. And then a starving and a ghosting. Okay. Reload is done though. So this is working out really well. But let's see what kind of damage we get on our shields at this point. And if we can salvage these wrecks effectively like that, so that we can take more priority targets. I'm actually going to take the starving one here. Should start my missiles. Go, go, go missiles. That should be fine. Starving is in range. That's a 2. Yeah, these faction berserkers do still track really well. I'm very happy with that. But look at that incoming DPS now. 70%. And we haven't done anything to the cruiser yet. So let's see if that works out. That's definitely better. Okay. Getting to that 60% range. That one is in structure. That one is good. We'll take the blinding. She's down. 1 and 3 on the starving. Or, yep, they switched again. God damn it. And there's going to be webbers on the field as well. So let's see if we can recall them quickly enough. Jesus Christ. They're, yep, well, they may have nerfed the loot. We'll see that at the end, but they did not nerf the sights, I can tell you that much. Especially not when you want to use your drones here. So that one goes down. We're still salvaging. I'm gonna put up the ogres again. See how you like that. Triglavians. Just one. Alright, we'll go after that. And then we'll do the reload. We get a third one if we want to. Wreck is finally done again. Press 4. Grab... well, actually I should be targeting this stuff. And yeah, those... oh, they're switched again. Look at that. I just happened to go down here for my modules. And I saw that all the E-War was gone. Jesus Christ. Triglavian bastards, then we'll switch to a different kind of drone again. Let's see if my Berserkers too can stay on the field. Gotta stay on your toes here, guys. That's for sure. Alright, we'll go like that. Of course, we finish the wreck now. Missiles are ready. I'm gonna add them in the mix here. Speed things up a little bit. Rasnaborki Kimura. 1, 2, 3. Add the salvage. Another wreck, please. Then tangling, I think, is basically in this scenario your priority, because my... look at that. Damage on that drone entirely because of the webbing. So that is definitely dangerous for your drones. Renewing, take care of you next. I almost like to keep some E-War on me, just so I can see this when the E-War is gone. Just so I can see when they decide to switch to my drones. Bastards. Ghosting is next. 1, 2, 3. We'll grab the ogres again, which are fine. Press F4. Grab more wrecks, please. That one, that one. That one. Okay. Harrowing is left. There it goes. And shield-wise, we did absolutely fine. Despite the fact that this was definitely a step up from the first conduit that we ran. So that one is gone. Should despawn in a moment. And we need those wrecks, of course. That's one disadvantage. I can't just press F without any wrecks targets, so that they keep salvaging 2 new targets themselves. But considering that there shouldn't be that many wrecks left, it's a little bit of micromanagement to do. That should be manageable. Let's take a look at the loot in a moment. Okay, that one is ready. Do I have all the wrecks targeted? Looks like it. He finishes, so we put him on something else. Same with you. Go over here then. Alright, and now of course everything starts to pop, which is actually fine. Final wreck, and then the loot. That's something that I have noticed. We do get more muted plasmids, and 5.5 million. Yeah, that is definitely like maybe 25% of what we got before the nerf. Did I just return that to drone bay? Yep, I did. All right, let's do a stack all. Let's see what we're talking about here in loot. That's 9 million, 10 million for 2 of these conduits. That is not a lot anymore. Definitely feels like that has been nerfed substantially in, as we said, respawn timer and in loot, not in difficulty. And from time to time you come across one of these that loves to go after your drones. So let's take a look at my payout here again. Another 4.5 million. So that stays steady. And I will see if the one in Chunkia is back and if anyone is running it. That could still be of interest to anyone that wants to see, well, how am I going to run as many of these as possible, or do I want to stick to one system and try to camp that down, maybe hunt patrols in the meantime? That really depends on your favorite playstyle. But I think one of the results of this change is going to be that you'll see more people running these conduits together, at least in theory, and perhaps eventually these guys will start to form fleets and then go into invasion systems. That may be the aim after the for the respawn nerf of these emerging conduits. So here, nope, they're not here. We've got Basco. I think I get the pop-up again, and then we'll just take a quick look at it. Again, the patrol is available here. Not something that is done quite often, but considering this loot nerf, might be interesting to look back at those and see if they have better drop rates for the survey databases, the 0-point manipulators, that's the salvage, and things like that. And final thing that I want to say about that is, well, with the massive decrease in the number of conduits that will be ran every day and the nerf to the loot, this should increase the value of this stuff. That is one of the consequences there. And it turns out like that this one is empty now as well. So I am going to run this one right now. From this experience in not too busy space around Detal here, it is still very much possible for you to chain these conduits decently, efficiently, but you now need to roam several systems if you want to keep running them the way you did before. That's definitely a big change, and indeed massive nerf to the loot drop so far. So I'll keep going. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you next time.